Hello everyone, I'm Paul and this is problem 1927, sum game. This is a medium problem that might become very tricky, so let's see how to solve it step by step. Alice and Bob are playing a game where Alice starts first. In this game, we have a string num of even length with digits and question marks. So let's say that we're given this input. In this particular case, we don't have question marks. On each player's turn, the player can replace a question mark with a digit in the range from 0 to 9, and the game ends when there are no more question marks. After the game ends, we need to get the sum of the two halves, left and right. The sum of the left half here is 5 plus 0 meaning 5, and the sum of the right half is 2 plus 3 meaning 5. For Bob to win, we need a tie. These two numbers have to be equal. If they are different, Alice wins. In this scenario, 5 is equal to 5, so Bob wins. Assuming that both players play optimally, we have to return true if Alice wins or false if Bob wins. In this scenario, we have no question marks, Bob wins, so the final result is false. Let's say that we have only one question mark. We always start with Alice, so we can replace this with any digit in the range from 0 to 9. Which number should we use? Remember that the goal with Alice is to get different sums. 5 plus 0 is equal to 5. So here we should use any number that's different from 3. If we use a 3, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Now we get equal sums, and in this scenario Bob wins. If we want to avoid the equal sums, we can pick any number that's different from 3. We can pick 2, 4, 5, and so on, any number different from 3. Let's say that we pick a 2, the sum here is 4, 4 is different from 5, so Alice wins. So in this scenario, assuming that both players are playing optimally and we always start with Alice, Alice always wins. So the final result in this case is true. So the first observation here is that if we have an odd number of question marks, Alice always wins. Why? Well, because she will have the last turn. Let's say that these two are question marks. First we have Alice's turn and we can pick any digit. Let's say that here we use a 3. Now we know that the sum of the left half is 8. Next in Bob's turn, let's say that we pick a 7 here. Now with Alice we can pick any number that's different from 1. Why? Well, because 7 plus 1 is equal to 8. We are trying to avoid this balance. As long as we pick any number different from 1, we are good to go. We can pick a 3, for example, and we win with Alice, okay? So this is the first observation. And what if we have an even number of question marks? Well, now Bob has the last turn. If we are given this, for example, here we have 2 question marks. Alice can pick any of these, and then Bob can pick the last one. And this means that Bob could get the tie that he's looking for. Let's say for a moment that we are Bob, and we have this same scenario. We have to start with Alice, so let's say that we pick any of these 2 question marks, for example this one. And we have to replace this with a digit, so let's say that we pick any digit, for example 7. What can we control as Bob? Well, the trick is that we can use a digit next such that every pair of question marks has a sum of 9. If Alice uses a 7 here, then we can use a 2. If Alice uses a 5, then we can use a 4. If she uses a 9, then we can use a 0, and so on. We as Bob can make sure that every pair of question marks has a total sum of 9. And 9 is the only number that we can reach. There's no way to reach any other number from Bob. For example, let's say that we are trying to reach a 7. This is impossible, because we as Alice can start with 8 and that's it. We can't replace this with a -1. We have to pick digits in the range from 0 to 9. So if we are trying to use 7 as the target, this is impossible. We can only control 9. We can transform pairs of question marks into sums that are equal to 9. So let's say that we're given this input. We know that the left sum is 6 plus 3 meaning 9. Then in Alice's turn we can pick any of these 2 question marks, for example this one. If we use a 3, for example, then with Bob we can use the required digit to reach a 9, meaning 6. 3 plus 6 is equal to 9, and now the right half is equal to the left half, so Bob wins. So if we have an even number of question marks and the sum of the first half minus the sum of the second half is equal to the number of question marks of the second half minus the number of question marks of the first half divided by 2 times 9, then we have a scenario in which Bob wins. And this is exactly the same to what we did up here. First, we can take the balance of the numbers that we already know. 6 plus 3 is equal to 9, and on the right side we have a sum of 0. 9 minus 0 is equal to 9. So if we can use the difference of question marks to build enough 9s for this difference, Bob wins, because we have the last play. And just to be clear, this means that we are taking the amount of question marks that we have on the right, meaning 2, minus the amount of question marks on the left, meaning 0. We divide this by 2, and this is equal to 1. This means that we have one pair of difference. As you can see, we have one pair to the right. So we, as Bob, can transform every pair of difference into a 9. We multiply the number of pairs by 9. That's exactly what we are doing here. So the result of this second part is 9. Here we have a balance of 9. And given that 9 is equal to 9, in this scenario, Bob wins. And maybe you're wondering, why do we use absolute differences here and here? Why do we take sum1 minus sum2 and q2 minus q1 instead of absolute differences? The key is that we need opposite variables. If the largest sum regarding the numbers that we know is to the left, then we need a positive difference of question marks to the right. And if we have the opposite scenario where the largest sum of the numbers that we know is to the right, then we need a positive difference of question marks on the left side. Okay, we need opposite variables. So if we're given this input, for example, we can take the sum of the first half, 0, minus the sum of the second half, 9. The result is minus 9. And now we need to check if this is equal to q2 minus q1, meaning 0 minus 2 divided by 2. This is minus 2 divided by 2, which is equal to minus 1. And this times 9 is equal to minus 9. Minus 9 is equal to minus 9. So with this formula, we are handling this opposite scenario also. And for the final example, let's say that we're given this input. Here is the middle. We have 3 characters to the left and 3 to the right. We start with Alice, so let's say that we pick this question mark and replace it with any number, for example, a 9. Now we have 3 question marks on the opposite side, and next is Bob's turn, so we can replace any of these with the same character that Alice used, 9. Now we are cancelling these 2 digits. Next we have Alice's turn again. She can pick any of these 2 question marks, for example this one, and use any digit, for example 7. And now given that this remaining question mark is on this same side, we can replace it with the required number to reach 9. 7 plus 2 is equal to 9. So as you can see, we as Bob in this scenario can also win. 7 plus 2 is equal to 6 plus 3. If Alice picks a question mark from this side and we have another question mark on the same side, we can replace it such that we get a 9. If Alice picks a question mark from one side and we don't have a question mark on the same side, then we can use the same value for another question mark on the opposite side. That's how we cancel both. So in this scenario, we take the left sum 9 minus the right sum 0. And how many pairs of difference do we have? Well, we take the number of q's to the right, 3, minus the number of q's to the left, 1. The result is 2. This divided by 2 is equal to 1. As you can see here, we only have one pair to work with because we have 3 elements. We can transform this into a 9, so this is equal to 9. We are cancelling one of these 3 question marks with this one, and we are using the remaining pair to get the contribution that we need in order to get the tie. So in this example, the final result is false, which means that Bob wins, okay? Time complexity for this approach is big O of n because we have to iterate characters, and space complexity big O of 1. So with this in mind, let's go with the code. First, we can say that n is the length of the number that we are given, the sum of the first half and the number of question marks are 0 and 0, and we can say that S2 and Q2 are 0 and 0. Now we can say for every index in range n, if the current index belongs to the first half, meaning it's strictly smaller than the total number of elements divided by 2, then we can check if the current character is a question mark. In this scenario, we can add 1 to Q1. Else we have a digit, so we add the corresponding digit to the sum. We need to transform this into an integer, so we can do this in Python. And now we can copy this and say else. This means that the index belongs to the right half, so we are doing something very similar. This is Q2 and this is S2. And after doing this, what are the conditions for Alice to win? Well, we have two possible scenarios. Maybe we have an odd number of question marks, meaning Q1 plus Q2 modulo 2 is equal to 1. Another scenario is if Bob doesn't win, meaning if S1 minus S2 is different from, in the opposite side, Q2 minus Q1 divided by 2 times 9. Remember that in order for Bob to win, this has to be equal. If it's different, Alice wins. So we can just return all of this. If this is true or this is true, Alice wins and we return true. If none of this is true, Bob wins and we return false. So let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works and it's very efficient. So if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.